Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Harakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to you, hopeful elect Aki, pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth, waking up the rest of the elect so Yahweh Shai can return and save us up out of this wicked kingdom. And I hope to be one of those men. Okay. Quick lesson, man, on the topic of this Edomite lady, her husband, and she had a kid with her, and me and the brother, as usual, just, bringing it out, and hey, we cuss sometimes, all right, it's not a sin to cuss, and us brothers in this truth, we all know that, hey, we're men. Yeah, we try not to cuss as much. We try, but that's all we can do is try not to cuss. All right, but hey, we're so fervent in the spirit. We're so on fire in the spirit when we're out there on the highways and hedges. Cussing is the last thing. Trying not to cuss is the last thing on our mind, man. Okay, because we got multiple things going on at once. Got precepts flowing in and out of our brains. All right. Focusing on what we're saying, making sure that we're saying the right things, because we're representatives of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We got people, strangers, people walking past us, listening to us, driving by us. We don't know who's an agent. We don't know who's, it might be a family member or a loved one, or some people at the job that you work with walking by you, or an old friend, and you just want to be presentable. And so we got all these things going on in our mind, man, and try not to cuss is the last thing that's on our mind. And plus, at the same time, saying a cuss word is not a sin. All right. So, hey, me and the brothers, hey, my brother Mataza, he's a fiery brother, in the spirit. All right. And this Edomite lady walked by with her husband and her kid. She came walking by us out of fucking nowhere, man. We had no clue this bitch was like this woman was walking by us, and she hollers out, "Hey, watch what you're saying. There's kids out here. There's children out here. Blah blah blah. And we heard it before, man. All right, we hear it all the time. Not all the time, but we heard it before. And this time, usually us, me and the brother, ignore it, or But hey, when we told the lady, I forgot what I said. I said, we was rebuking her, man. Hey, if you don't like don't want your child to hear people cussing, don't bring them outside. Because you're gonna hear people cussing in America, man. You're in Babylon the Great, the most wicked kingdom on earth. All right. Is it illegal for people to cuss in public, say cuss words? And no, we're not cussing at your kid. Okay. And this bitch ain't even listening to what we're saying. What we're even cussing about. Just an ignorant Edomite bitch. And I'm not excusing my language. All right, because that bitch wasn't excusing what she said to us, totally disregarding everything that we were saying and was about, just full of emotions. And she had her man right next to her, all right, not saying nothing, not telling her to shut up, not even speaking for her, just a shell of a man. You can't even call that a man. First off, not speaking up for her. Second off, not telling her to be quiet, because that's not a woman's place. All right, what the fuck are these people doing? What else? And yet, just disrupting us, not knowing exactly what we're doing. And here she is just blabbing her mouth. All right. Slaki Hakim. And yeah, man, I was trying to, get the video of her talking, yelling, saying what she was saying, but I couldn't find it. But we'd be out there for 3 hours, man. But yeah, man, just saying, saying that, hey, there's kids out here, this and that, got a problem with us cussing, No, we're not cussing at your child. No, nor are we cussing at any child. All right. You don't even know what we're cussing about. We're cussing and saying, so-called quotation marks, cuss words. That's what this Edomite calls them. Curse words, which are not even curse words. It's just rude speech. We're expressing our voice in a very loud manner with rude speech, okay, for lack of better words, man, because we're spiritually angry, man. The Lord says, hey, to be angry but sin not, and this is what we're doing, man. We're angry at this wicked world, at these wicked people, at these wicked people and the wicked things that are being done, and we're crying out to the Lord, man, daily, week in and week out, all right, as Yahweh Shema Shai commands us to do. All right, to go out there and to cry out for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, man. All right. And we're rebuking these people. We're telling these people the wickedness that's done. We're bringing out the news. All right. We're bringing out the wickedness that's going on around us and around the world. All right. And there's going to be cuss words that are going to come out of our mouths. All right. And that's not a sin to cuss. All right. Because America is so simplified. And the men are so simplified, man. All right. They push this narrative that a man of the Lord can't cuss. He has to be softly spoken. All right. He has to let his woman talk over him. All right. He has to let the women speak. All right. They have to have a soft voice, just simplified and weak and feminine, like Tim Tebow, man. All right. This big buff ass brolic dude who's trucking, giving Jake a hard time on the football field, but when you hear him talk, he sounds feminine as hell, But on the football field, he's a Jake, But when you hear him talk, he's like, I'm like, what the hell? And he's a so-called Christian, and it came out that he's in the Epstein files. But anyway, that's a video. That's a topic for another lesson. But yeah, man. Hey, the men of Yahweh Shema Shai, the prophets of old, they read in the Bible, they were rough men. The Lord himself was a rough man. All right, rough man. All right, he was cursing out his people. He literally cursed his people. The fig tree. Okay, talking about his people, man. The Lord cursed his people. All right, called his people stiff-necked. All right, hard-hearted. Okay. All right. Hey, look at the prophet Stephen. He was cursing out his people before they stoned him. Why'd they stone Stephen, the prophet of the Lord? Because he was cursing them out, saying cuss words. Okay. Jeremiah. All right. All these prophets. Hey, the prophet, was it Elisha? Or he cursed. Slakia. He literally put a curse on children. He prayed to the Lord, put up a curse because these children were giving him a hard time, and the Lord answered him, man, by sending 2 mama bears on them and unaliving them all. All right. So hey, the Bible is not a cotton candy hugs and kisses book. All right. It's full of lamentation, mourning, and woe. Yes, there's sweet and beautiful things, all right, in the Bible, but not everything in the Bible is hugs and kisses and sweet and honey tasting, all right. And the Lord commands us to bring out the truth, all right. Make it plain. All right. Spare not children, old, the elderly. All right. Bring it and let everybody hear this truth, man. Okay. All right. We're not cussing at your child. We're not in their face yelling, at them so hard where the spit's flying out of our mouth and it's landing on their face. All right. And how the fuck are we supposed to? We're not looking out for children and making sure that there's a kid coming, so hey, don't cuss. I do that sometimes, but that's not our main. That's not why we're out there, man. To be presentable. All right, like that. We're out there to represent Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and to warn our people of the destruction and the evil that's coming to this world, man. And to get right with the Lord, or that destruction and evil will come upon you, and it's going to be your end, your demise. All right? When somebody's warning you, that you're about to fall off a cliff, do you care how they say it? How they warn you? No, you just want them to warn you. If it be cuss words, rude words that hurt your feelings, they grab you really hard by your shirt. They almost sprain your neck because the shirt, they pull your shirt so hard it almost sprains your neck. But you're so thankful that, you don't even care about, how your neck feels or how your feelings feel, That's the situation that we're in. That's the situation that's out there when we go out there to the highways and hedges, man. All right, we're warning you of what's to come, and we're telling you how to get right with the Lord, okay? And these people have no clue. They don't give a damn. They don't want to ask questions, the right questions, They just want to condemn us, all right? Get us off the streets. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear us speak smooth things, all right? PG things, but at the same time they go watch rated R movies and shit, commit iniquity all day and every day, show their kids wickedness. All right, hey man, we're bringing out the truth, man. Hey, we're exposing this place for what it is. All right, we're bringing out the truth. All right, and showing you the lies that's been founded on this place, man. America in this world, man. Okay. Why we're speaking against the people that are doing these wicked things to these children, aka the Epstein files, the people in the Epstein files. All right, we're speaking up against those people, but yet they have a problem with us because we say cuss words. Epstein and these people in the Epstein files are actually doing this nasty, wicked shit to these children. We're not doing none of that. All right? Nor are we saying we're doing that. Hey, we're saying we're speaking against it. But since we're using cuss words, we're the worst thing ever, man. We're the worst thing ever. Because you had your child and we had no clue your child was even with you, nor did we know you even existed. We didn't even see this bitch coming. Just out of nowhere. All we hear is a voice. There's children around here. Bitch, how about you come listen to what we're actually saying? All right? And what's going to happen to these people in the Epstein files doing these things to these children, and people doing things like that are not in the Epstein files. What the Lord's going to do to these people, man. All right? Because the Epstein files... The Epstein files is just the tip of the iceberg, man. That ain't the only, that's not the only situation, man. All right, there's more things, similar things going on. All right, that that has nothing to do. That probably has something to do with the Epstein files, but that aren't in the Epstein files, man. A whole JEW community, all right, does it, all right. These elites, all right, that aren't in the Epstein files, all right, they're still doing it, all right. There's still kids going missing. These people in the Epstein files are not being arrested, okay. But you got a problem with us bringing out the truth, exposing this stuff, man, all right. Galatians 4:16, Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? All right. We've became these people's enemy because, hey, we're telling them the truth, man. All right. They don't like us because, hey, really, it's not that they don't like us. They don't like Yahweh Shem Shai. They don't like the Lord. All right. Like the Lord says, if they hated you, know that they hated me first because I go unto my Father, roughly paraphrasing, All right. They hate Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. And the Lord created people like that to hate this truth. Because in a perfect world, everybody would understand this truth and understand what we're saying and be like, yeah, those men are right. And wickedness would just be quenched, extinguished off the face of the earth. But the Lord has created ignorant, stupid, idiotic people on earth to not, to actually demonize men like us that are bringing out the truth, man. And they're going to use stupid, dumbass reasons why they're going to hate us. And in this case, it's just because we're saying cuss words. All right? And they don't even give a fuck about what we're cussing about. It's actually against the people that are doing wicked, nasty things to children. That's what we're cussing about and what the Lord's going to do to them. All right? But now they have a problem with us using their child to try to demonize us. Because why? Because we're saying cuss words. We're not doing any wickedness to kids or nothing. All right? We're not even sinning. All right? We're doing the most righteous thing you can do on earth. But they have a problem with us because we said a cuss word, which is not a sin in general. All right? So we have became these people's enemy because these people hate truth. They want to hear the smooth things. All right? They want us to prophesy deceits. All right? They don't want to hear right things. All right? They want to hear smooth things. They want to hear softly spoken voices. Okay? Effeminate men speaking. All right? They don't want to hear cuss words. They don't want to hear cold, hard truth. All right? This is quick. Amos 5 and 10. It says, They hate him that rebuketh in the gate. And that's where we're at. We're in the gates of the city, man. All right? Where all walks of life walk past us. And they abhor him, all right? They despise, all right? They abhor him that speaketh uprightly. And that's what we're doing. Us men of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, we speak uprightly, all right? Bringing out the truth, all right? Bringing out the 100% truth, all right? And they hate us, all right, for it. Because while we're rebuking this world for the iniquity, all right? And these people, their evil, their sins is coming into the light, all right? It's coming out of darkness. It's being revealed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, all right, through us, okay? Because we're bringing out the truth, and these people, they hate us because, we're telling the truth. We're telling them what is right and what is wrong, and these people are realizing that they're doing wrong, and they want to stay doing wrong. They don't want to get right, so they hate us. They want to stay in the dark. They want to stay committing iniquity. They want to stay ignorant, Just keep on sinning, all right? That's why they hate us. And really, that person was just ignorant as hell, all right? Second Chronicles 36 and 16, it says, But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh, and despised his words, and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord rose again against his people, till there was no remedy. And that's what's going to happen to these people, man. All right, these people are going to eat their words. All right, a great evil is going to come upon them. Perfectly fit for the judgment that they put on us. All right, they judge us. Wickedly, so they're gonna receive wickedness. So yeah, these people mock us, or they misuse us. All right, they're supposed to listen to us, ask us sincere questions, and get right. Change their ways. All right. Incline unto our words, because our words come from Yahweh Shai. All right, the Lord speaks through us, but they do the total opposite, man. All right, they mock us. All right, they try to condemn us, make us look like the devil. All right. 2 Corinthians 11:6, quick. But though I be rude in speech, all right, saying cuss words, aka cuss words, so-called, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. Fuck you. So yeah, man. Hey, though we cuss, hey, we're still speaking the correct thing, man. All right, we're telling the truth. That's how you know the truth is more important than cuss words. Okay, you're gonna let cuss words take away or be the detriment of your salvation. You're gonna put cuss words in front of your salvation. What an idiot. Hey, when I listen to the prophets, the men of Yahweh, the men of GMS, coming into this truth, hey, I put away my feelings, my emotions, how it made me felt, how it made me feel when I heard the men of the Lord speaking. All right, it hurt, it was cutting me to the soul, to the bones and marrow spiritually, man. I couldn't stop watching. I couldn't stop listening to them, man. Because, hey, man, it was comforting, though. All right? I don't know how. I don't know. Because, but it was comforting, Man, I got to get right. Man, this and that. I need to hear this, I need to hear that I'm going wrong. I wanted to know where I was going wrong at, what I needed to do right, where I'm fucking up at. I wanted to hear, this is sin. What I'm doing is iniquity. All right, I'm gonna do my best to stop doing that. Smoking is a sin. I gotta stop smoking because I was a smoker. All right. Being disobedient to my parents, being rebellious is as the sin of witchcraft. Let me stop doing that. Let me stop being a rebellious son. Or eating pork. Eating whatever I want isn't right. I got to eat according to the dietary laws. Okay. All right. Etc. All right. Second Peter 2:2, it says, and many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And these people try to make us look like the bad guy when really we're talking about and bringing out the wickedness of the actual bad guys. All right. But they got a problem with us. Quick, another one. Isaiah 29:21. That make a man. Isaiah 29:20 says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. And that's what that person was trying to do. Lay a snare for us, get us caught up in what we were trying to do, trying to condemn us, trying to make us look like evil, wicked men because we're cussing. Hey, man, if you don't want your child to hear cuss words, keep them inside the house for the rest of their life. A kid is going to hear cuss words, man. All right? We didn't know you and your kid was even walking by, All right? It's not illegal to say cuss words. There is something wrong if a man does say cuss words to a child that's not even theirs in public, right in front of their, at them, yelling at them like that. Hey, come on, man. Like, well, why are you yelling at a kid, saying cuss words at a kid, that you don't even know? We're not doing that. We're not cussing at no kid. We're not talking to no kids. And if kids walk by, we're cordial with them. All right? We're nice with them. We're not yelling at them. Rough with them. All right? Nobody was even talking to you and your Edomite ugly ass child, man. All right? Just trying to make shit about you. And because women just want attention. She's not getting enough attention from her man. Women are full of fucking words, man, like the scriptures say. you know. All right. The man, hey, probably because her man isn't a man, letting her talk over him and not telling her to shut up, you know, letting her do and say whatever she wants. Hey, you know, I'm not saying we will or we would, all right, because we can, but we're not. We try not to, but that situation could have got very physical, all right, and she could have easily got her man into a situation, a bad situation because of her loud ass mouth, all right. All right. That's why women aren't supposed to usurp authority over a man, and that man was letting her talk. All right. You're not supposed to. If my woman did that, I would tell her to shut up. Come on, let's fucking go. You know. You know. And that's a lovely thing. That's my next lesson. It's gonna be on that. But yeah, I hope this was edifying to the you know. Just wanted to do a quick lesson on that, man. You know, it was